Thank you, President. Pursuant to Standing Order 23.29, I lay on the table a report from the Legal and Social Issues Committee on the inquiry into the management of child sex offender information, including appendices and a minority report. I further present transcripts of evidence, and I move that the transcripts of evidence lie on the table and the report be published.
Question is that the transcript of evidence lie on the table and a report be published. Those opinions say aye. Contrary, no. I believe the ayes have it. Ms. Patten.
Thank you, President. I move that the Council take note of this report. And I'm very pleased to present this report into the inquiry on the inquiry into the management of child sex offender information in Victoria. And I think certainly sex offences and sex offenders are something that, there would not be a single person in this chamber that is not passionate about preventing and stopping. And so in looking at what we could do to improve this, what we could do to keep our community and in particular our children safer, we spoke to different organisations. We looked around the globe at other models of the maintenance and the register of child sex offender information. And I think it should be, it should also be said here that these are not supposed to be punitive registers. These are registers to keep people safe. And we heard loud and clear about that. We heard from organisations that what we wanted to do was public awareness and prevention, and this report makes a series of recommendations there. It also makes the recommendation that the Victorian Law Reform Commission should consider how we might change this the management of child sex offenders and the register in particular, and whether there might be instances further to what we already disclose, but instances where further disclosure of information would be warranted. I think this was a very thoughtful, inquiry. I suspect. We probably heard things that we weren't expecting to hear. Things like deceased people are maintained on the register. Now, we're not entirely sure why, but there's still, and there's concern that this might skew some of the figures around child sex offenders and that register. So I was very pleased, and I think I certainly probably changed my position throughout this inquiry, which I think is something that, is the work of committees, and it's why we do these things. So I'd particularly like to thank all of the people who contributed to this, people who told their stories as well. And we know that that is an incredibly powerful part of the committee process. But I'd really like to thank the team that prepared this very comprehensive report. That would be the research team of Vivian Bannon, Samantha Lee and Anique Owen, with the administrative assistance of Justine Donoghue, Sylvette Bassey, Christiane Andavosky and Rachel Pineda-Lyon, under the management of Lillian Topic and later Matthew Newington. I'd like to really acknowledge the very hard work they did, again in lockdown, to produce this report, and I'd like to thank all my committee colleagues for their really collaborative work on this report.